I'm currently on a mission to do some damage. Anybody donating some big numbers? Big num...
歌よ錦となれこの剣はわかるかい雨描きがたしこの剣はわかるかい
Hey Dragonfly Swarm, Xingqiu is living proof that MihoYo has favorites. As a Hydro Sword user, you wouldn't imagine a 4-star to bring so much utility and impact to a team, but bring it he does, because Xingqiu's capabilities have earned him community-wide recognition as one of the strongest characters in the game. But what exactly makes him that good? So good that he's revered as one of the strongest even amidst powerful 5-star characters. Well, Xingqiu's kit is a very simple one on the surface, with a pretty straightforward elemental skill that deals some Hydro damage and a burst that synchronizes your active character's attacks with Hydro blades for a few seconds. But that's just the surface, and this man is an onion. Lot of layers. Lot of layers. When Xingqiu uses his elemental skill, he summons a maximum amount of Hydro swords that circle the active character, and these swords provide a lot of utility such as resistance to interruption, damage reduction by a 20% calculation, and just raw damage reduction per sword, and then a constant Hydro application on any enemy you walk near with these swords floating around you. This ability is insane just based on the amount of utility it provides to your active character, but beyond that, it also does a shit ton of damage. And if you use Xingqiu's best in slot sword, the Sacrificial Sword, you can bypass the lengthy 21-second cooldown and get 4 instances of damage from the skill consecutively, and with a well-built Xingqiu that can become upwards of 100,000 damage. And then there's his burst, arguably the best off-field burst in the game for its constant Hydro application and very high damage output with good investment. Xingqiu's burst causes 3 individual Hydro swords to attack in tandem with your active character, and there are a few things to note about these swords. Number 1, each sword deals its own damage, meaning each sword can critically strike, effectively tripling your damage if all 3 crit consistently. Number 2, while this burst is active, your active character will gain the benefits of the circling rain swords from Xingqiu's skill. And number 3, with good energy recharge, this burst only has a 5-second downtime between uses, which is really nice. With all of these abilities in mind, it's pretty clear that even without big damage, Xingqiu is providing an insane amount of utility to the teams he's on. You'll pretty much have a 100% uptime on his circling rain swords, so you'll always have Hydro application, damage resistance and reduction, and even a bit of healing from his first passive anytime these swords are destroyed or disappear. And the thing about Hydro application is that it allows the use of the most powerful reaction in the game currently, Vaporize. Long story short, Vaporize is extremely easy to proc for most Pyro main DPS units, and with Xingqiu, they're gaining free survivability and damage all while having the ability to constantly proc Vaporize, which multiplies their damage output. This makes Xingqiu the absolute go-to for any Pyro DPS character, and there's a lot of them, because he brings so much to the table to assist them whilst also massively increasing their damage output. But you can even use him as your go-to on freeze comps or electrocharge teams because of his insane Hydro application, and he'll still perform extremely well. However, I want to say the most amazing thing about his kit are his Constellations. I don't usually like to talk about Constellations, but being a 4-star and one who constantly shows up on banners, MihoYo does have favorites. Xingqiu's Constellations are pretty accessible even to free-to-play players, and boy are they strong. At C1, you gain an extra rain sword from his skill, allowing for technically 25% more healing and damage reduction. At C2, his burst duration is increased by 3 seconds, reducing the total downtime to 2 seconds, and the sword rain attacks shred Hydro resistance by 15% now. At C4, during his burst, Xingqiu's skill damage is increased by 50%, and at C6, every third attack from his burst produces 6 blades instead of 3. These Constellations massively enhance just about every aspect of his kit, from his damage reduction and healing to his overall Hydro application, burst uptime, and they even give him a considerable damage output boost as well. And this is just another reason why Xingqiu is so powerful. Even if you don't invest in him at all, like if you were to put a level 1 Xingqiu on a team with a Pyro unit, he's still providing percent-based damage reduction and 100% uptime Hydro application. So theoretically speaking, even with literally 0 investment, he's still massively enabling your main DPS and heavily supporting their survivability. So imagine what happens if you do invest in him. MihoYo might give you a free 5-star just for doing so, considering how much they love him. That's kind of a joke, but also not really, because he really is their favorite. Go build your Xingqiu. Sack sword, 4-piece emblem, or a 2-piece depths and 2-piece noblesse. Your choice, I won't judge. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video and you want more content like it, feel free to subscribe or join my Discord or follow me on Twitch, because I'm live almost every night at 7 PM EST. All those links are down below, and I'm now gonna go max my Xingqiu and do big numbers. Goodbye.